Hello guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my video Rise. Hello guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my Wriothesley guide. In this video, I am going to cover his silent explanation, constellations, give you some playstyle tips and combos, his best weapons, artifacts and team comps. After he is released, I will make another video explaining his playstyle in detail. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it.
Oh my god! Wow!
Wriothesley is a 5-star cryo catalyst DPS. He deals most of his damage from his normal attacks. In his normal attack, he can punch up to 5 times. His last hit has a huge multiplier, so you would want to complete his normal attack combo. And with Wriothesley, it's not that difficult to get the last hit, as his combo will not reset for a short period of time after dodging or using his elemental skill. His elemental skill Ice Fang Rush consumes 4.5% of his max HP and gives him increased normal attack damage, and the buff lasts for 10 seconds. Additionally, Wriothesley will continue to lose HP when his normal attacks hit every 0.1 second. This skill also increases his resistance to interruption. His elemental burst Darkhold Wolf Bite is a huge chunk of damage just like Chongyun's burst. It has an energy cost of 60. His first ascension passive There Shall Be a Plea for Justice. When Wriothesley's HP goes below 60%, he will obtain a Gracious Rebook. Gracious Rebook will enhance his next charge attack. The charge attack will not consume any stamina and has its damage increased by 50%, and will additionally restore Wriothesley's HP equal to 30% of his max HP. Gracious Rebook this way can be gained every 5 seconds. You shouldn't worry too much about this passive at C0 as proccing it becomes very inconsistent. At C1 however, this becomes a very important part of his kit. His Ascension 2 passive There Shall Be Reckoning for Sin will give him a Prosecution Edict stack when his HP increases or decreases in chilling penalty state, that is during his elemental skill. He can get a maximum of 5 stacks, each stack will increase his attack by 6%. For his talent priority, prioritize his normal attacks followed by his elemental skill. Do not neglect his burst as it has a good multiplier, and with C2 this becomes as important as his other talents. Moving on to his constellations. His first constellation, Terror for the Evildoers, changes his Ascension 1 passive. When his HP is less than 60% or while he is in the chilling penalty state caused by his elemental skill, the 5th hit of his normal attack will create a Gracious Rebook. One Gracious Rebook effect can be gained every 2.5 seconds. Additionally, his enhanced charge attack will deal 200% more damage, and when the charge attack hits during his chilling penalty state, its duration will be extended by 4 seconds. This extension can happen only one time per one chilling penalty state. This is an amazing constellation for him as it makes his Ascension 1 passive more useful, allowing you to get the Gracious Rebook effect consistently. It also increases his elemental skill duration. In his second constellation, Shackles for the Arrogant, every Prosecution Edict stack from his Ascension 2 passive will increase his burst damage by 40%. You can get 5 stacks from his passive, so you get a maximum of 200% increased burst damage. This constellation is identical to Wanderer C2. This makes his burst a much more important part of his kit. You will need to use a cryo battery with him and build some energy recharge or use Favonius weapons on supports to keep his burst uptime. With his C2, you should try to burst every rotation. His third constellation increases his normal attack level by 3. His C4 will increase the healing he gets from his A1 passive from 30% to 50% of his max HP. Additionally, when he is healed, if the amount of healing overflows when he is on field, he will get 20% attack speed. If he is off field, the party member's attack speed will be increased by 10% for 6 seconds. These two methods of increasing attack speed cannot be stacked. His 5th constellation increases his burst level by 3. His 6th constellation, Esteem for the Innocent, increases the crit rate of his special charge attack enhanced from his A1 passive by 10% and its crit damage by 80%. It will also create an additional icicle that deals 100% of his charge attack's base damage. This damage is considered as charge attack damage. If you are F2P and want to pull for his constellation, his C1 is a very strong option and I recommend stopping there. Now the most common question, C1 or signature weapon. His C1 is quite strong as it enables his A1 passive to proc consistently and also boosts the charge attack damage while also increasing his enhanced state duration. It's worth investing in his C1 rather than going for his signature weapon as weapon manner can be a bitch. Moving on to his weapons. Starting with the Cash Flow Supervision, it is his signature weapon. It gives crit rate as its secondary stat. Its passive increases attack by 16%. It also increases normal attack damage by 16% and charge attack damage by 14% for 4 seconds whenever the wielder's HP increases or decreases. You can get a maximum of 3 stacks. Additionally, after getting 3 stacks, it will increase attack speed by 8%. The next weapon that is close to his signature weapon is Wanderer's signature weapon, Tula's Remembrance. This weapon can boost normal attack damage up to 48% after using elemental skill. A highly refined weight set is also an amazing option on him and better than his other 5-star options, especially in meld teams, as he can benefit from all 3 buffs. In freeze teams, however, the other 5-star options can be better as he can't benefit from the elemental mastery buff. In meld teams, even the R1 weight set is pretty close to his other 5-star options. Memory of Dust with a strong shielder, Skyward Atlas and Lost Prayer are pretty much similar in damage. Lost Prayer is better if you have less crit rolls, and the other two are better when you have a good crit ratio and less attack percent. 1000 Floating Dreams is viable on him in meld teams. New Willard's signature weapon Tome of Eternal Flow can also be viable on Wriothesley as it provides a lot of crit damage, but he won't benefit much from the passive. The energy restoration can be helpful especially if you have his C2. The Fontaine craftable weapon Flowing Purity at R5 is his best F2P weapon. There's not much difference between his weapon and the rest of the 5-star options except for his signature weapon and Tula's Remembrance. This can also make the HP rolls that you have from your artifacts more useful on him. The free 4.1 weapon R5 Ballad of Boundless Blue is also similar in terms of damage with R5 Flowing Purity. And you get it at R5 for free, so you don't need to keep waiting for billets. It can give up to 48% normal attack damage and 36% charge attack damage. It also has an energy recharge stat which can help you use his burst every rotation. R5 Mappa Mare is also pretty similar in damage with these two weapons in meld teams. Solar Pearl is also a strong option for him. It's a bit better than the Flowing Purity at similar refinements, but it is not worth it to buy BP for this as you already have some amazing F2P options. Other weapons you can use if you don't have any of these weapons are Blackcliff Agate, Eye of Perception, Wine and Song, R5 Dodoko Tails, Frostbearer Catalyst. Moving on to his artifacts. Two of his best artifact sets are the Marechaussee Hunter and Blizzard's Tear. Marechaussee Hunter is based in meld teams and it is very strong in freeze teams as well. It provides up to 36% crit rate, allowing you to build more crit damage than additional 15% normal and charge attack damage bonus. Blizzard's Tear is only useful in freeze teams and better than Marechaussee Hunter by a small margin. It provides cryo damage bonus and gives up to 40% crit rate if the enemy is frozen. You can strong box Blizzard's Tear. Other great artifact sets on him are the 4-piece Vermilion Hereafter, which can provide him a lot of attack percent. 4-piece Desert Chronicle, the 2-piece is useless but the 4-piece gives 10% attack speed and 40% normal attack damage. Shiminawa's Reminiscence is also great as it provides 50% normal and charge attack damage, but it is not recommended to use if you have a C2. You will also need to build some energy recharge or have a Favonius user in your team to consistently proc its passive. Gilded Dreams is viable for meld teams. 4-piece Echoes of an Offering can also be used as it provides normal attack damage, but you need high ping to consistently proc it. If you don't have good artifacts of these sets, you can mix and use 2-piece sets of artifacts that give attack percent, Marechaussee Hunter, Blizzard's Tear or Elemental Mastery if you are using him in meld team. You can also use 4-piece Retracing Bolide if you have a good shielder in your team for the 4-piece effect, but it's not worth to strong box or farm this as it is only slightly better than the 2-piece mix sets. Remember to use a set in which you have better artifacts. Moving on to his artifact stats. Attack percent on Sands, cryo damage bonus on Goblet, crit rate or damage on Circlet depending on your artifact set, stats and teams. For Sands, you can use Elemental Mastery Sands in meld teams if it has better substats and get attack percent from external buff or artifact substats. And similarly with attack percent Sands, you can look for EM from substats or use an external buffer. Prioritize crit rate, crit damage followed by attack percent and try to get some Elemental Mastery as well if you use him in meld teams. As Wriothesley focuses on dealing more damage from his normal attacks, energy recharge is not necessary on him but having some can be great. At C2, building some energy recharge on him becomes important as you want to use his burst every rotation. Moving on to his combo. His combo is very simple. Start with his elemental burst if it is ready, then use his elemental skill and spam his normal attacks. After his elemental skill duration ends, refresh your buffs. With C0, you shouldn't worry about using his charge attacks as proccing his Ascension 1 passive is very inconsistent. You can use it during emergency situations when you need some healing. With C1 however, you need to use a charge attack after 5 normal attacks. With Solar Pearl, you should use his burst 6 seconds after using his elemental skill to keep 100% uptime on its buff. With C2, it is recommended to use his burst at the end after you get all stacks from his Ascension 2 passive. Moving on to his team comps. Two of his best teams are the meld team and freeze team. For male team, you will need a pyro character which can be Bennett, Xiangling or Thoma. For the next slot, you can use an anemo character like Kazuha, Sucrose or Lynette for Viridescent resistance trade. Kazuha and Sucrose are recommended as they can also provide crowd control. You can also use Nahida over here, and the last slot is Flex. Here you can use any buffers or supports or sub DPS like Nahida, Bennett, Yunjin, Zhongli, Diona, Layla, Rosaria, Kaya. Here are some example male teams: Risley, Bennett, Kazuha, Nahida, Risley, Bennett, Kazuha, Shenhe, Risley, Xiangling, Kazuha or Nahida, Bennett, Risley, Thoma, Kazuha, Diona. For Freeze teams, you will need to use a Hydro character with him. The Hydro characters can be Xingqiu, Yelan, Kokomi. Xingqiu or Yelan are preferred if the enemies move a lot. You can also use Mona, but her Hydro application is not as good as the other three. For the next slot, you need an anemo character for very decent resistance rate like Kazuha, Lynette or Sucrose. And for the last slot, you can use Shenhe, Layla, Diona, Rosaria, Ganyu or Kaya. You can also use Nahida in the last slot to convert these to Freeze team. Here the enemies will be frozen, and as a result they can easily get hit by the blooms. For this you will need an anemo character like Kazuha, Lynette or Sucrose, preferably Kazuha, and the other two slots will be cryo characters. For cryo characters you can use Shenhe, Diona, Layla, Ganyu, Rosaria or Kaya. If I missed anything, I will make sure to add it in pinned comments. Let me know in the comments what will be your build for him. And that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel for more Genshin Impact videos. Thanks for watching.